thank you for meeting with us today. Sorry I'm looking kind of scattered. So you are, and that's much better with the lights. I like that. So you're working as a nurse on the front lines, and you know, I wanted to let people know how I've known you for how many years now. I won't say exactly because it's been a number of years,
Since
right?
Since we were kids.
Since we were kids, and we're still kids, right?
Early high school.
Early high school.
We were kids, a long time.
And you
all our lives we've known each other.
Tell me a little bit about how you got to be a nurse. You're a pretty high-powered nurse in Las Vegas, aren't you, or in Nevada? Tell me about that experience.
I'm kind of gearing down. I was the regulatory supervisor for the state of Minnesota for many years, and I was in charge of licensing surveys for assisted living, home care, case mix reimbursement in all nursing homes, complaint investigations, sometimes closure of facilities, for 2,250 facilities.
Wow.
And I was a DON of a hospital and of a nursing home, which I hated both. I don't like being a DON. And in Nevada, I was a case manager and also, again, regulatory for the state of Nevada. And right now I'm in Texas. And I am the charge nurse and somewhat of a consultant for coronavirus testing. So I'm in what they call the hot zone, which is with all the gear, and I screen and I make sure that there's several lines of cars that go through, sometimes up to, imagine 2 parallel lines with 4 stations to swab. So you can have 4 or 6 people in a car, and you have 4 cars going at the same time. So my job is to make sure that everything is running safely, that the swabs are being done accurately, so you do get a positive specimen if they're positive, so that the screener is not doing it too rough, you know, you don't want to hurt anybody, to make sure that their safety is not being breached. We wear a lot of PPE, or protective personal equipment. So you wear a hazmat suit with booties. We used to have separate booties, but we decided that wasn't safe enough. So now these are built in, and so you wear a hazmat suit, you wear 2 pairs of gloves, you wear a protective gown over the hazmat suit, a hairnet, you wear an N95 mask, and then you wear a clear face shield while you're in the hot zone. So you're doing all of that. My thing is nobody is compromised. If people go through to get swabbed and they're squeamish or whatever, and they try to grab the person swabbing them, which then totally breaches any safety. And I've got to have that person removed. They've got it, it's called doffing, taking all your stuff off. So you doff, you wash, you disinfect, and you go around and redo all the gear, which is called donning. And then you come back into the hot zone, which completely slows everything down. So I try to make sure that doesn't happen, that windows stay up except for the minimal time that we're swabbing you. Again, because if you're coughing, you know, you're probably contagious, or you're potentially contagious. We don't want that on us. Imagine being in a coronavirus area for 12 hours and having people cough on you all the time and breathing on you. You have to minimize that.
Oh, wow.
Same thing with all of our specimen stuff on the side and our gloves. We change gloves after everybody. every single one. If there's 5 people in the car, you change gloves 5 times. You use hand sanitizer between gloves changes 5 times. You know, you don't want people breathing and coughing on your gloves because, again, then your gloves are contaminated. You're changing them, but you would be bringing that to someone else. So all those are factors in. So I do that, and now the last couple of days I was assigned to a mobile site, a mobile unit that just got set up, and that's my husband. Anyway, that we go to different areas, different, I guess you call, they're cities, but like bedroom neighborhoods around Houston, and do testing for a couple days. You up in the morning with trucks, you set up tents, you set up your areas. You have to know where to put donning and doffing and how to route cars. The police are with us, numerous police, and you do clinics all day out in the sun, and then you load up all the stuff in, you know, well, we don't load it up. There's guys that come do it that work for the county health department.
Let's bring this down to a personal level on you.
Stuff up, and then we go somewhere else the next day. So that's what I do.
Let's bring this down to a personal level for you. What kind of risk are you taking doing this? You must be taking tremendous risk on your health.
It's risky. Yeah, it's risky. Yeah.
Has any of the people that you're working with contracted the virus, or
not at any site I have worked at, but there's one site in Texas, in the Houston area that had that I've never been at. I'm not associated. It's under the same umbrella, but I'm not associated with it. And they had some problems with their safety and quality assurance. They had swabbers convert, and they had police convert positive.
Oh my God, that's awful. And I know in my case, if I converted, I would probably be dead. And I know I'm going off of our
knowledge of each other.
Yeah. It's like
I would be dead too. Yeah.
You just kind of go on with it. You know, there is a movement afoot that is saying that this is all a scam and that it's not real, and there are people actually going out and protesting to say, oh, we want to be out and about. Address that for a second for our viewers, so that they
believe that's really true. Come to my area and walk around for a day with no mask on, and in 7 to 14 days, tell me it's not true. How's that?
That is a very good answer, because we have to confront that. If I'm not careful, this stuff will kill me. If you're not careful, this stuff will kill you.
I have friends in New York City, and I have obviously nurse friends. I talked to one 2 days ago who is working on a unit. There's a lot of nurses that are going to New York to help. And one of my screeners, in fact, left day before yesterday to go to New York to help. But this gal that I know personally has been in New York, and she was on a unit that has, in a hospital, that has 32 beds. Well, they had almost 40 people in the unit. So you have beds kind of against the walls and all this stuff. In a unit that is a 32-bed unit, in one day, they had 16 deaths. She said on average, there's 37 just in her unit.
Wow.
And you cannot have family in there. Family doesn't see their person if they're on a vent. If they have a hooded vent, maybe they can speak through to the phone, but if they're intubated, they can't talk. So they can't say goodbye to their family.
It's a horrible way to pass.
You can't talk to them. There are no funerals because it's too dangerous. You can't bring all those people together. New York only has a couple crematoriums. So it's not like you can even have your family members' ashes. So they're doing mass graves like Auschwitz almost, And then you get told which mass grave your family member went into.
That is so sad. You know, I will. I don't want to keep this too long because I know you have things. This is your only day off. Thank you for doing this. You don't know how important this is for people to hear.
I dedicated time for you, so because you're you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, thank you for being there for so many years and stuff. And I will wrap up this interview with one other question for you. Is there anything that you're missing? Could we be sending more PPE to Houston? What kinds of things could we be doing?
We don't have enough PPE here. They're telling us we're now using our masks for and our shields. We disinfect our shields with bleach water, and which then leaves them cloudy so you can't really see well. Well, then we try and wash them with Windex to get rid of the cloudiness from the bleach. We're using those as long as possible. My mask I've been using for over a week.
Oh my God.
It's dirty on the inside. You can't wipe them off, so I wrap it in paper towel and then put it in a bag that has my name on it and just reuse it. We're now at the mobile sites, we are reducing, and actually we're going to reduce at the drive-through site, the tie-back suits, the hazmat suits, because we're sending them to the hospitals. There's not enough. The police, it depends on which police. In Texas, there are sheriffs and constables, and it just depends on where they are. Some of them have some PPE, some of them don't. In the jails, they're in a world of hurt. Prisoners are becoming positive. It's like the naval ship, you're all put together. They've let out some minor offenders, pot, that kind of stuff. You got busted with a couple ounces, they're letting them out. You have no record of anything. But there's still a lot of people. The Harris County Jail itself holds, I think it's 4,000 and some prisoners, which is huge. It says something about Texas. Anyway, they're trying to let as many of those out. This is a state where there's a lot of pushback to that, though. It's a very conservative state. And the sheriffs that are in the jail, don't have PPE that's adequate or plentiful enough. So they've had several of them that have converted. First responders and firefighters are converting some. There's some that have been in ICU. There's one I got a message about that was really in a bad way. So I don't know. I didn't hear that he had died, but he was on the throes of it. And of course, imagine if you're a fireman, you go to somebody's house and you have to give care. I mean, you're having a heart attack, whatever, or it's a domestic or, whatever, or it's a fire and you're rescuing people. You're exposed. In a fire, at least you have the gear on, but if it's just another call, if you don't have the gear, you're face to face.
Oh my God.
Imagine going into a house where potentially all those people may have corona, and it might be a very small house. And when you go in, you're in one room. You're not all over the house. You're in the room that the emergency or the situation is taking place. So you're in one room, and you know how people are. Everybody's all gathered around. They want to see what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
Mom and dad or whatever. They're all breathing on you. It's a high risk situation.
I think you made it very clear to our viewership what is happening there, and it's very unfortunate that we're at this point, but it's very important for us to understand what it's like for someone like you who's really on the front lines. We hear things on TV and stuff, but we never get to really talk to someone who is really going through what you're going through. Is there
I'm working 6 days a week, 10 to 12 hours a day.
Oh my God.
Every day. This is my one day off. I slept, like I said, until a half an hour before this because I was exhausted.
Understandably. So is there would it be okay if they sent me if they wanted to donate PPE or money? Could I give them your contact information if, after I vet who they are? Would that be permissible, or is there?
Yeah, if it's money, it'll go for food because there's a lot of people here that don't have food, that are unemployed. Oh my God, you'll see on TV the lines, 2,000 cars deep of people needing food. In this neighborhood, we have the next door app, and people are helping each other, bringing food, doing stuff for people that need it.
And if it's PPE, we'll have them.
I dropped food off at neighbors because sometimes we were at a site, and I won't say which city, but the mayor brought us food, DoorDash food delivered for those of us working, and we had extras. And so I took it, some of the extra, we divvied it up, and I took it home and dropped it on my neighbor's doorstep, texted them and said, hey, I'm dropping this off, and beeped, and they knew I was in their driveway. And when I drove away, then they could open their door and get the food, so they had some food.
That is wonderful that you're doing that. And I will go ahead and call this a meeting. Thank you so much for making it clear for us, because I saw many videos that were saying just the opposite of what you're saying. And with someone like you that's actually seeing it face to face, that is so important for people to hear.
If they don't believe it, here's what I say. Go sit in a hospital emergency room with no mask. Go sit there for an hour, okay? If you think it's not real, if you're in the rural areas, that's not going to work. But go to a city, go to a big city and sit in an emergency room and get out. Bring your kids. Make it a family outing if you don't believe it. Okay?
Thank you, Sarah. You always have an ability to make things very concise and very succinct. I'm going to stop recording now.